Hello and welcome to a modern video. Today we're going to be trying something that I'm very interested in checking out. Some lists of Amulet have been popping up, playing 3 copies of Scapeshift in the deck. We're playing Scapeshift in the place of Explore and maybe, like some extra flex slots in the form of Azusa. Some people are playing Second Cultivator, stuff like that, 33rd land. But what we're trying to do with Scapeshift is if we have a Dryad in play, obviously you can just, if you have 6 lands, you just Scapeshift and that's straight up lethal. Or if you have an Amulet in play, you can do stuff like Scapeshifting for like net a bunch of mana. And then you can sort of go off from there. And also Scapeshift makes Cultivator Colossus pretty good. Like that's one of the things that actually was interesting to me, is that Colossus is very mediocre overall. Like it's really hard to set up. But if you have Scapeshift and an Amulet, if you can just Scapeshift for a bunch of bounce lands, then you cast Colossus after you return all of those to your hand, and then you can easily draw like some 10 plus cards and net a bunch of mana if you have an Amulet in play. So we're going to be trying it out. I'm not too sold on it just yet, but this is what we're going to be doing today, just some science. The rest of the deck list is not particularly crazy. The only thing that's interesting is a Crumbling Vestige, of course. I like Crumbling Vestige already as is in my Stronghold Sunhome deck list, but this makes it's even more necessary when you have Scapeshift, because sometimes you need to be able to net some mana through the shift in order to do something after you resolve it. So let's see how things work. In the sideboard, you're going to see that I have the Crisis package with the basic island alongside your Steves. I'm still not sold on this. Like I think that it's a lot of cards. It's just a lot of cards, but it's fine. Like I'm just trying things out, and I want to see for good how I feel about all of these things. But like I have not. The Crisis package has not come up enough for me yet. It has come up a couple of times, and it was medium, to say the best, but I think that it's fine. Like it sounds good in theory. It's just a matter of does it actually translate into practice. So so we're gonna be trying a modern league. If you're enjoying the content, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. And if you would like to support the channel, you can do that through Patreon. You can make donations to the stream. I can play any list of your choosing when you do that as well. And if you're interested in signing up for coaching, you also have that option available, and you have all the information you need in the description of the video down below. Let's play some Magic. Okay, round number 1. This hand is interesting. This is a perfect example of a hand that if I were playing Karn would be so much better, because this would be a turn 3 Karn, but instead I have this stupid Colossus sitting in my hand. I think this is fine though. I think I'm still going to keep this. We can go turn 1 Grazer, play Saga, turn 2 we can make constructs if we want to, or we can play Steve otherwise. Seems reasonable. Opponent plays Windswept Heath. I have to imagine this is... Okay, now it's sort of confirmed as some form of 4-color. Oh, Hammer. Well, that also makes sense, I guess. Alright, so that's a lot of stuff. A little bit scary, but no business. And them playing Giver, it's a lot less scary than playing a Sigarda's Aid. So probably feeling okay about this. That's interesting. I probably still want to go for Saga, because now that I have the Amulet, gives me the option of next turn going for a different route. Like next turn I can just I can pop the Saga for Expedition map, and I can find the bounce land that way. I do think that I want to play Steve next turn. Let's see what opponent's doing up here. Stoneforge Mystic. Okay, I mean, as long as they don't have an equipper, this is not particularly scary. Kaldra Complete basically guarantees, like it puts face up the fact that they don't have an equipper, so that's great. I think that puts us in a good spot. Opponent sends it back. Another Saga. Well, that's super interesting. Well, with the second Saga, I kind of want to go... Yeah, I think we're going to go play second Saga, and I'm just going to play Amulet and play Steve. What this does is I don't need to use the Steve just yet. You can just sit and play. So it gives me the option to see what I want to do next turn. Whether I want to find an Amulet or I want to find... what's his name instead? Okay. Does that mean that they drew the Paladin? No, it does not. Okay, so this is great for me. Unless their last card in hand is Paladin, this is very good for us. It also, so next turn I can... Let's see what we draw. Because I may want to... block. I may want to get an amulet off of this if I find a bounce land, probably. Okay, so we can make some constructs here. Alternatively, so if they have Paladin, I lose, but if they don't have Paladin, I win. Can I win this turn? I get an amulet here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, I just have Titan, man. I'm an idiot. Yeah. Yeah, this is actually just lethal if I find second amulet. Great. This is yet another reason why Steve has been so impressive. This is an interaction that doesn't always show up, but when it does, as you can see right now, matters a heck of a lot. So I'm just gonna name Giant. Like, it just doesn't matter. Like, we can cast Prime Time regardless. Here's a Primeval Titan, and I just have lethal. Just gonna go for double strike. So yeah, good stuff. Double haste there. I do have to make it 20 because my opponent has a charm blocker. So I guess I'm gonna bounce the Cavern of Souls, swing, just get Vesuva, Sunhome, activate, and my opponent's dead. Just 20 you. Show me that main deck Path to Exile opponent. I dare you. I dare you to Path to Exile me. There we go. Alright, fantastic. Starting with a W. 4 sounds great. Boseiju sounds great. Genius Explosive sounds great. Radiant Fountain sounds good as well. So these are the cards that I want. Cultivator can go. It's not what the matchup is about. Bojuka Bog. It's an easy cut. Cavern of Souls, another somewhat easy cut. Is this a Scapeshift matchup? Scapeshift does give us the potential for more value, but I do think that this is a Steve matchup. Like, I don't want to cut all the Steves, at least. So I think we're just going to cut one Steve and then cut another Cavern. This is in the 31 lands. Yeah, let's actually, I mean, I just kind of want to try it out more than anything else. I want to see I want to see this Scapeshift plan come together, and my opponent doesn't really have that many ways of interacting with my Amulet nor my Dryads, which obviously makes Scapeshift that much better. Well, this hand is quite interesting. I could go turn 1, Boseiju EE for 1, and just let that sit in play. I kind of want to Saga though. If I Saga on 1, I don't really have a path towards... Yeah, I don't, because the Saga is going to be destroying itself. Because what I could do is I could go turn 1 Saga, turn 2 Boseiju, turn 3 Scapeshift, but I'm only going to have 2 lands in play. So that actually does not work. This hand is, I mean, I think it's good enough to keep, but the sequencing is going to be very tricky. Honestly, I'm not sure what our sequencing will look like. Opponent plays a bunch of spells in the first turn once again. So I mean, I guess I'm going to... Huh. Well, that's very interesting. I mean, I think I'm just gonna go play out Boseiju and play explosives for 1. I think this is just the best thing I can do here. It's a little bit awkward because it puts it on the table, and if my opponent has a land and a hammer, I'm just dead. But there's nothing I can do about that anyway. Opponent's not playing around 4s, but I don't think they should. Yeah, just showing me the hammer right now. Yep. I made the mistake of being on the draw in this game. Punted that. I don't think anything changes. I don't think this member is particularly good against Hammer. Like, that's what they're good at, right? Like, playing around removal. That's exactly what they're good at doing. This hand is very slow, but I think I'm gonna keep it. It has some very good interaction, and it has a robust game plan. Like Force of Vigor is like such a good card in this matchup. But yeah, basically, I'd much rather have interaction for the hammers than I would have interaction for their creatures. That's why this member is not. It's not where I want to be, because this member is very often just gonna be. It's gonna be destined to be aimed towards my opponent's Giver of Runes. Turn 1, Peeling Needle. All right, that is exactly what I want to see. A slow hand from my opponents, because my hand is very slow. They Nimbus Sage you. That's fine. So here's a bounce land. Say go. Scapeshift plus bounce land is not the best combo that I've ever seen. I'll say as much. Opponent goes for Hallowed Fountain. Stoneforge is a little bit scary, but not crazy scary. So, okay, so they get Caldra, which suggests that they don't have a ramp spell, which means that I'm just gonna pact for Dryad here. Gonna pact for Dryad, and we're just going to spend this next turn to pay for pact, and then we're gonna win on the following turn. And I have Force of Vigor if I need to interact with something, which is nice. And I'm gonna have Dryad plus the Natural Valakut, so I think this is gonna be okay. In case they have an answer to the Dryad, I'm playing out the basic forest so that I can still pay for my pact. So I want to draw basically any land. Opponent plays Inkmoth, and they just go full Caldra. This is fine. Don't care about these two too much. I'll take 5. Can take many 5s before we lose the game. So let's just pay. Steve is so close to being good. Let's play Growth Chamber. Again, I'm just playing around my opponent having a way to... Am I supposed to attack here? I guess I am. I guess Steve is a card to pitch to 4, so Steve is a fine draw. Didn't even think about that, but yeah, Steve is a card to pitch to 4, so great draw. Stoneforge doesn't take a turn. Doesn't take a turn from the clock, so that's why I was saying that the attack with Stoneforge is basically free. Lavinia. I've seen that card be played so many times, and I kind of don't see it. I could play it super slow here and play around Mana Leak. I think it's likely my opponent has Mana Leak actually, so I can go play Castle. Okay, so let's go play Steve first. Then I can go Castle into Gruul Turf. These, I think, is gonna kill Lavinia anyway, because it's a 2-2 instead of it being a 2-1. And we have Force of Vigor up, and we have another Valakut. But yeah, next turn we're gonna be able to play Titan around... what's his name? Around Mana Leak. I like that Steve prevents an Inkmoth kill. I mean, I also have Force in hand, so there's also that, but... Okay. Take 5. Yep. Alright. So, let's fetch. I think I may need more mana. Also, this is now lethal, I think. Another Dryad. Play that. Face. Play that. Face. And we're gonna cast Primetime now. And we can play around double Mana Leak here. So unless they have something like this Tenfold Stroke, this should be good. And they don't. Sweet. Awesome. Bueno, Xenochrome. Okay. Yeah, I don't think this hand works. Like, it's a little bit too slow. If this hand had, instead of this Colossus, we had like any untapped green source, or like just, I guess, any untapped source, I would probably keep this. I guess I'm still on the draw, so we can do better on 6 anyways. Now this hand is hella interesting. Wow, what a hand. I kinda need all of these pieces. So I want to keep this hand, but I feel like Gracer is good in this hand. And I think that the other 6 cards are just necessary. Like, I think I would love to be able to keep Gracer, but I just don't think that we can afford it. I don't think this hand can keep Gracer. If this were a bounce land, I would consider cutting the Steve from this hand.
but with the lack of bounce lands in this hand. By the way, like already I've been kind of struggling to find bounce lands in every single game that I played. So already regretting playing one less bounce land that I could be playing. Hammer again. Well, there you go, I guess. Cavern Beast. Pretty lucky that we have another cavern where we can name Dryad. So any land would be my best draw here. Springleaf Drum. And a Giver. Okay, so my opponent has a pretty slow hand here. Exactly what we want to see. That's a fantastic draw. Phenomenal draw. Okay, so we're just going to name Dryad, Nymph, whatever you want. My favorite thing is to name Dryad because it's one of the most common comments that I get in every single one of my videos. You name Dryad, but Dryad is actually a nymph. No, it's been errata. So you can name Dryad and it works. It works just fine. But it's very, very funny. I'm just creating engagement, you know? That's what I'm doing. Just creating engagement. So I can... Opponent goes for Stoneforge here, maybe getting Caldra. I can get Expedition Map, or I can go get Amulet. Yeah, so that means that they don't have an Equipper. I imagine my opponent should have gone to 5. Every time I see Hammer play, well, never mind. So I guess we now win. I think winning sounds good. So I think I will win. Yes, that sounds appealing to me. Get my Amulet. Play my Gruul Turf, and I guess that we can even do this while paying for Sentinel. Though I guess what are we afraid of? We're not really afraid. I guess they could march. Maybe my opponent's main they can march like a maniac, and if that's the case, I mean I can play around it for free, so I might as well. So yeah. So let's just do this. We're still gonna bounce the turf. Pact, and we're gonna pay 1. So my opponent does not draw a card. Spell Pierce? Oh my god. I guess I didn't play around Spell Pierce, did I? So, I mean, I can still pay for Pact here. It's a little bit awkward. Wow. Their last card is Spell Pierce, dude. That's crazy. Okay, so I guess I'm just gonna pay for Pact, and I'm still gonna get Primeval Titan, but obviously I can't play it. But I'm just gonna play Steve, and Steve is gonna allow me to pay for Pact. That's pretty crazy. I was definitely not. I was, as you can probably see, I was definitely not playing around Spell Pierce. That's good though. That's a blank, so we are looking fine. Yeah, opponent sees the Rhino on the wall. They were not just dead, but they were kind of dead. Okay, so same sideboarding that we just did before. We want that and that. Cut some caverns and stuff. Bring in forces. Bring in engineered explosives. Cut cultivator colossus. Cut 1 Steve. This sounds good to me. Again, I'm still not sure about this Scapeshift in this matchup. I think it's fine. But I could be wrong. Like again, I don't have enough experience with the card to know whether this is a Scapeshift matchup or it's not. Well, this is the kind of hand that I probably have to keep. So we're definitely gonna go turn 1 Saga, turn 2 Saga. And that's what's gonna give us the maximum amount of potential. And we're obviously gonna be very much looking for a bounce land. Scapeshift doesn't quite do anything at all. So just chill on that. Actually, no, it does not, because my Sagas, Scapeshift kind of awkward with Sagas so far. Every time we've drawn it, like we've had like a sort of Saga heavy hand, and I guess your own lands destroying themselves doesn't combo particularly well with Scapeshift. My opponent getting a hammer there is very scary though. I may just be dead. Never mind. We're looking great then. As I was saying,
We're looking great. I'm probably gonna pitch Scapeshift. I'm gonna let my opponent have their mana here because, I mean, I guess I couldn't not do it, but this is better against Eldrazi. Because my opponent fetched for Colossus, they didn't fetch for... Wow. Okay, so I guess that they're going for some constructs, which is fine. But I'm just gonna end step, First of Vigor, both of their sagas, pitch in Scapeshift. Opponent obviously makes a construct, that's what they were setting up, but double Stone Rain is obviously quite strong right here. Okay, so float a mana. I think this is... I can get Expedition Map right now, crack it for a bounce land, and then set up lethal for next turn. But I think that we have time. So since we have time, I'm just gonna play this out, make a construct, and say go. Like, my construct just lines up well against theirs, unless they play, like, unless they want to trade. Cigar to say, well, that's a lot scarier. We're still in okay shape though. And I guess that now I just kill my opponent because they are tapped out. So unless they're playing Solitude, we win. Oh, that's not true. We have Sunhome here. That sucks. Probably still worth to resolve their Primeval Titan, right? Probably still worth it. So crack Expedition Map. Gonna get a Growth Chamber. Play Growth Chamber. Make some mana. And we're just gonna Pact for Azusa. So Summoner's Pact. Get Azusa. 1, 2, 3. Play. I guess we can even play around Solitude if we wanted. Is that even worth doing? I guess I might as well. I guess I don't see no reason to not do it. Might as well do it. Now we're going to make 6 mana. Bounce this. Haste Prime Time. Again, pretty unlucky that we have the stupid. We can't actually set up lethal right now. I'll get over it. Let's bounce Garrison. Go to combat. Attack. Say yes. And I think we're gonna get Boseiju Bounce Land here. We could get Boseiju Teleria West. Boseiju Teleria West plays around removal on my prime time. And I don't think my opponent's gonna be able to kill me. So I think this is just fine. This is the safest line. Yeah. So a little bit awkward there because we drew the Sunhome, but like I don't think my opponent can win from here. Best case scenario, they have like they go land into double hammer, but we just chomp with the construct anyway. Like we're just gonna that's why I gave the construct vigilance as opposed to the Azusa, or like activating twice on the prime time. It's just like if they want a double block, then they don't have a threat to put the hammer on, and if they just don't block the construct, then I have it as a chump blocker in case my opponent has double hammer, or even if they have hammer plus Shadow Spear, it's still not enough. Like I don't take lethal. So all right, see you next round. Okay, what do we got here? This hand is actually pretty serviceable. We can go turn 1 Saga, turn 2 Cavern of Souls, turn 3 play Dryad, and turn 4 we win. So we're on the play. On the draw, I think I may ship this, but on the play, it's pretty good. I think on the play, it's gonna do it. It's gonna do what I want it to do. So turn 1 Saga and pass it back. Opponent moved to 6, and they're playing Urza's Tower. Well, now my hand just become a heck of a lot better. So here's a Valakut, and say go. I see if my opponent's playing Chalice here. If this is Eldrazi Tron. It is. Oh, I dodged like a champion. Chose the wrong value for that Chalice of the Void opponent. Chose the wrong value for that one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Bunch of mana. So let's float a red. I can bounce Valakut here. Summoner's back for prime time. I guess I could have gone for Colossus here and just, I guess, would have been more fun. We're not gonna get to, but I can't 20 my opponent anyway, so It's not really an option. So let's go Valakut Stronghold. So stuck my triggers, float white, untapped, haste, untap, go to combat, and I'm just gonna Boseiju my opponent's land and call it a day. If they don't have 7 mana next turn, there's nothing they can do that I'm afraid of, so float some mana, float some white, and some red, I guess. Deal 2 more damage, bounce this, Boseiju your tower, and we can very easily pay for Pact, even if our Dryad dies. Opponent's seen enough. So they're either on Mono Blue Tron or Eldrazi Tron, but they're not on regular Tron. So regardless, I'm going to be playing Boseiju and cutting Bog, but we may see like some discrepancies otherwise. Like I may be interested, for example, in the Island Crisis deal versus Mono Blue, but I don't think I'm interested versus Eldrazi. Don't like Dismember, don't like Radiant Fountain regardless. I think Cultivator's fine. Let's cut 1 Gracer. I think Steve's just fine. Yeah, I'm gonna assume my opponent's on Eldrazi Tron, so I'm just gonna cut a Cavern of Souls. May get punished if my opponent is again playing Mono Blue. Obviously, I'd rather have the Cavern than any other land. Interesting hand. Turn 2 Boseiju. I think this is okay. This time opponent keeps 7. Leading on tower once again. Land, go. Eldrazi Temple. Okay, so it's Tron. Now we know. Chalice on 1. My opponent has not learned their lesson. That's a very good draw. So let's name Dryad here, I guess. Play Steve. Fantastic draw, Steve there. My opponent can play a TKS next turn, but if they do, it's kind of whatever. Like, sure, they take my Dryad, but I still have 2 Primeval Titans in it. Or maybe they just play nothing, and I can just go about my business, play my Dryad and do my thing. Warp. Why though? Why though? I guess I'm gonna make it uncounterable because I can play my Dryad. Oh, I messed up the sequencing there. I guess it doesn't matter because I'm gonna go Cavern on Giant, Celestia Sanctuary, and pass the turn. It just doesn't matter. And now, like, nothing my opponent can have matters at all. Like, I'm just resolving a Titan next turn regardless. So this matchup has always been very good for us. We could use Scapeshift to win, I guess. If my opponent doesn't answer my Dryad, we can, you know, kill him with Scapeshift for some extra value. I guess it's technically the correct thing to do. Ugh, I hate the technically correct thing to do. I mean, now that they tapped out, it's actually correct to go for Scapeshift because it's lethal right now. Whereas, no, never mind. Titan would also be lethal because we just go play land, cast Titan, get Valakut. That is 4 triggers. That's 12 damage. Then we attack for 2. That's 14, and then we play the other land as our last land drop, as our second land drop. So Titan is also lethal. In a way, I feel like it would have been better if my opponent just thought not my hand, so that they don't need to think about it. They can just click that right-click concede button, save us both some time. But yeah, there's nothing my opponent can do here. Ensnare and Bridge. Very hopeful for my opponent. So let's name Beast. Cast my Primeval Titan. Get 2 Valakuts. Save targets. Always yes, always yes, always yield. Play that out. Boop. Tuya. Alright, see you next round. Round number 4. Not a great hand. Let's go to 6. It's just better. This is better. It's almost Primeval Titan mana. I can do that on turn 2. Redundant try. I think I'm gonna keep it, and I may regret this, but I'm gonna bottom the Stronghold. We are on the draw, so we're more likely to find another land, and I think that it's not impossible for my Dryad to just die. Okay, so that's great. So now we are good in terms of having Titan, man. Noble Hierarch is hella scary. This card is so innocuously disturbing to me, because it, more often than not, for the longest time, it just meant Infect, and can never ever beat that matchup. Opponent's playing green-white something. Spell Queller? Oh, please, don't quell me, opponent. I'm still gonna play this to make the Dryad uncounterable, but just in case my opponent's a Maniac playing Mana League, but I think they're just playing Queller. Or not. Sweet. It's also great. Ice Fink Quaddle. That I can live with. Why did they shock then? Path to Exile? Oh, Ephemerate. Oh, okay, so this is just like the Spike deck. Yeah, this is fine. This is just fine. Solitude would be a little bit of an issue, particularly if my opponent's gonna be doing some Solitude Ephemerate shenanigans. Okay, so opponent goes for they tap out for Ewit Ephemerate. I'm probably gonna YOLO here. At least I'm gonna kill their mana and their Eternal Witness. Oh, there's the Solitude. There you go. It's 2 Dryads. So here we go. Pass the turn. We want to dodge a second Ephemerate, because that can kill both of my Dryads. I guess we also want to dodge Deputy of the Tension. But like, I should play around the Solitude as opposed to the Deputy, because I know my opponent has Ephemerate, and there's Solitude in the graveyard, so I know my opponent has access to a Solitude, whereas I don't necessarily know that my opponent has access to Ephemerate, but I guess that they're going to have access to everything. This is kind of a beating, honestly. Can't even play that. So if I attack first, my opponent can't really... I mean, they just have to take it, I guess. So we know they have Solitude, and we know they have Ephemerate. So we're just gonna go for Primeval Titan. And I guess we have to get a Valakut, because I have to clear the board. So I guess I'm gonna get Valakut plus... We're gonna get Valakut plus Tolera West to set up the next Titan. So any bounce land sets up the next Titan. Oh, yeah, don't... Oh, I mean, I guess they should wait until I choose before they Solitude Ephemerate. Wait, what? They don't have a white card? Wow, okay. Well, that worked out. So Dismember's obviously great in this matchup. Besides that, the Crisis sound interesting to me. And the Scapeshifts do not look good. The problem with Scapeshift is my opponent has infinite answers to both my Amulet and my Dryad, and without Amulet nor Dryad, Scapeshift basically doesn't do anything. So I think that it's better to go that route. I don't think I care for Boseiju, don't think I care for Basic Island. What's the last cut? Maybe Crisis number 3 is the last cut? I kind of like the Crisis though. Crisis is... Crazy? However you're supposed to say Jellyfish Hydra Beast. I think I'm just gonna cut the Grazer. Alright, what do we got? This hand's pretty solid. Keep it. Now the question is, what do we dismember? I'm gonna go for T-West on 1. The reason to go T-West on 1 is that it enters tapped, so it doesn't really change in terms of the mana disponibility for dismembering. Meaning that if what I don't dismember now, I can dismember next turn. And by playing out the T-West, if I find another ETB tap land, I can play it, and then I can play the Forest on turn 3, so that I can cast the Dryad even through my opponent's named Dryad. Okay, so I guess we're just gonna dismember now. And I don't think their deck plays Flicker Wisp, so I can safely do this now, and I can play Dryad next turn. 3 mana is a little bit scary. So let's play Covenant Dryad. Pretty decent draw there. Here's a Dryad. Please don't Queller me. There's no way they have Spell Queller though. And now I have... If my Dryad doesn't die, I just can do the thing again next turn. Just Quaddle plus Ephemerate, or no Ephemerate? No Ephemerate. If opponent has second Meddling Mage, that's a little bit of a problem, but Deputy of the Tension. That's
fine. I mean, it's not great, but it's okay. It's a Crisis. Can make it a 3/3. I think I'd just rather play second Dryad and say go. But I'm gonna play the T-West here because there's nothing I'm transmuting for. And now next turn I have options. So now my opponent can ephemerate their own deputy, and that's gonna get rid of both Dryads, which is obviously a little bit awkward, but it is what it is. 3 mana, Soulherder. Sure. Well, that's exactly what I was saying. I was saying a second ago. So what we're gonna do, I think, is I'm gonna try to set up a big Colossus turn, which means this coming turn I'm gonna Primeval Titan, get probably 2 bounce lands. So get just Growth Chamber and Boros Garrison. Bounce and bounce. And the question now is, I guess I can Crisis before I Colossus. That seems fine to me. Ephemerate. Grows the Soulherder. I mean, as long as this is not lethal, I'm kind of fine with it. Now they can ephemerate their own deputy. That grows the Soulherder even further. Opponent can offer the trade, but I'm not going to take it because if an ephemerate just blows me out, so I'm just going to take 7. I mean, 7 at least. Maybe they have Solitude. Just hardcast Solitude. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So I'm going to play a Crisis for 10. Time Warp. Okay. I mean, that's a way that they can go over the top of what I'm doing, right? Because that's a way that they can actually kill me. No attack with Ice Fang is interesting. I'm not gonna block. Second Time Warp. Okay. I guess we're gonna be chump blocking. Yeah, the second Time Warp is kind of brutal there. Solitude brings me up to 13. So now it's the forced chump. Yeah, the double Time Warp there was ridiculously strong. I was feeling okay, and now that I see that they are on the multiple Time Warp game plan, I kind of feel like we probably have to pivot a little bit. I don't think we're going to have infinite time to mess around with Crassus, because that goes kind of way over the top for what we're doing. So I guess my opponent's going to get back Melee Mage. Okay. I wonder what they name. Primeval Titan? But yeah, Engineered Explosive is going to be like a good one. Engineered Explosives would kind of win the game, actually. If I had Engineered Explosives in my deck, and I can find a way to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7... I can find any bounce land off of these Colossus, and I can just transmute. Oh no, I guess I don't have the mana. Never mind. Never mind. But I guess I could have not played the T-West on the last turn that I took. But yeah, now that I see Meddling Mage as well, that's even one more reason to... Oh, no, yeah. They do name Primetime. No Ephemerate. It's kind of cute how my opponent could have been blinking their own deputy just to grow the Soulherder. It's very funny. Saga. Okay. So, play that one. We're gonna need a very good Colossus here. We're gonna need a very, very good Colossus here. Giant. Okay. That's not good enough. Okay. Game 3. I do think I want Colossus, but we're not gonna be doing the Crisis thing. Let's bring in some Gracers instead. And I definitely don't want Scapeshift. The question is, do I want Endurance? It's maybe better than Crisis. Yep, keep this hand. It's not like super incredible, but let's get some stuff going on. Here's an Amulet. Pass. Now we're gonna get to Dismember? No, Dryad. It's pretty good. Bounce, play Dryad, play this, play map? Or do I want to hold on to the map? Yeah, I want to play up the map because I may need 2 explosives for 3. Maybe my opponent just next levels me and they debut the attention my expedition map. That would be kind of sick. Main phase Ice Fang looking for a land. Does the opponent get there? No. Solitude pitching Solitude. That's great for me. Very good for the good guys. Oh, wow. He did have the land. Summoner's Pact. It's awkward. So next turn I can do the thing. But I think that my opponent's going to find a way to interact with my Amulet next turn. I think I should have just gotten Gruul Turf and just gone on with my life. Because now my opponent can deputy my Amulet and they effectively time walk me. 3 mana. Knight of Autumn. Eternal Witness. Okay, that's fine. We can go over the top of that. So, crack that.
Gonna find Gruul Turf. I definitely want a third color in case I need 2 explosives for 3. So I guess I'm gonna pact for Gracer. So pact for Gracer. And we have to pact for Gracer instead of Azusa because my opponent can otherwise Solitude the Azusa while I'm going through the process and get me that way. But I'm definitely going to go for haste because I already have another Titan set up, and this sort of forces my opponent's hand to 2-for-1 themselves in order to Solitude. Or just let me attack with Prime Time. Both things which are pretty good for me. There it goes. Pitching Ephemerate. It's great. That means that my opponent doesn't get to go infinite with Eternal Witness. Just bounce here and say go. So we lose to Venser because I think Venser can bounce lands. So if my opponent does have Venser, I guess we're dead to that. Ice Fang is fine. 1 card left in hand for opponent, 2 now. Fetch is scary. If they have Soulherder, that's gonna give my opponent a lot of value. Yeah, that's brutal. That's brutal. So I don't really have that much time now because I'm time walking myself here. Gotta pay for pact. There goes that. So I guess I'm just playing out my forest and saying go. There's nothing else I can really do here. Opponent has Solitude in hand, but next turn we're gonna have a strong turn, I think. Okay, so the last card in hand is Solitude. Yeah, that's fine. Let's block that one for my opponent. So they should blink Ice Fang. They do. Okay. All right. So wishing to dodge Ephemerate here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and I can bounce this, and that's gonna net me 1 mana floating. And I can play at least 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So if I find any 1 land, I'm in okay shape to cast Prime Time. So I think I'm gonna go for Colossus here because I think that I need to do the thing now. So I guess I'm gonna leave blue floating. Oh, I should have left like red or white, I guess. I wonder if they're gonna Solitude now so I gain less life. Could see that. Don't necessarily think that it's correct, but okay. Nice. Okay, so we're looking okay here. Done. That. All the amulets. And now the Saga. Alrighty. We know they have Solitude. And I'm assuming a blank in hand. So I have made my land drop. This is 6 mana, 7, 8. Bounce there. Prime Time with blue and white floating. Yes. Let's get 2 bounce lands. No, this actually doesn't quite work. So I guess I want 2 explosives for 3 here. I think that's the play. We don't have any packs to pay for. And we have 2 packs in hand. So I definitely want to get a Valakut in play. And I guess a bounce land so I have access to it in hand. And now we can explosives for 3. Hold on to this. I guess if I play Steve here, that's +1 mana. Can I do that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So Steve only costs 1. I have to crack Steve now, though. I guess I didn't have to. Oh, did I just miscount like an idiot? Yeah, I just miscounted like an idiot. Well, do I just have to pact for Azusa now? I miscounted like an idiot. I thought that I had 6 mana, didn't I? 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, I thought I had 6 mana, but I guess I only had 5. Well, that's obviously a huge blunder. I guess I have to back first. I don't think I can not blow up the Soulherder. Like I'm gonna lose to it. So I think that I have to, which is very, very awkward. Very, very awkward. Well, doing my best to to throw this match away. Just don't mind me. Just don't mind me. Just don't mind me. Just doing the best I can. That was so stupid. I think I'm in okay shape. I think the cultivator pushed me far enough ahead that I'm gonna be fine, but like there was no need for me to like waste a Summoner's Pact on Azusa. I'm kind of gonna need those Summoner's Pacts for Dryads and another Titan, so Obviously not great. Okay, gain 6. So I probably have to crack this on second main phase. I mean, I guess I don't have to. What would I be giving my opponent? A card? Or I guess a Solitude? Gotta pay for pack next turn, so I have to be wary of that. But that should not be a problem. Knight of Autumn? In the face of my Engineered Explosives? Okay. So I guess that blows up the Amulet? Or the Saga. Doesn't really do anything though. Like I'm okay with this. This seems fine to me. Yeah, blow up my Amulet. You got it, champ. You got it. So now before they get a chance to Soulherder, I'm gonna practice now. And if the last card in hand is Soulherder, that's fine, because they can't blink anything of value. I guess the only thing that they can do is they can blink the Icewind Quaddle and then just draw into exactly Ephemerate. And that's the way that they don't lose, but I mean, it could happen, but I think I'm gonna take my chances on that. So, pay for Pact, like so. Crumbling Vestige. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I technically can do both things if I Dryad first. So let's pact for Dryad. And I guess weirdly enough, I want to play out the Boseiju first, declining a trigger, but just so I can do this. Gonna Vestige the Solitude, so if my opponent has Ephemerate, they have to use it right now. Last card in hand is exactly Ephemerate. Wow. Okay. Sure thing, so... sounds good, I guess. Let's make some blue mana. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 5. Again, I miscounted? What's with the miscounting today? I feel like I'm losing my mind here. Okay, Summoner's Pact. So much miscounting. Okay, so I'm not gonna attack because my opponent just gets to chomp if I do. And by doing this, I force my opponent to use the Ephemerate on the Solitude as opposed to using the Ephemerate to draw another card. And I feel like not having my opponent draw a card is great for me. We've already used an Expedition map. We've already used one of the Amulets. So we can still find cards from Saga. The Casual 39 life. One card in hand for OP. Yeah, I kind of want to trade with that. Okay, here's a construct. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. Pay for Pact. Draw Primeval Titan. It's not bad. So I think I'm going to need all of the resources that I can get my hands on. So I'm going to make the construct here. We do have access to Amulet now. So I can Pact for Dryad. 1, 2, 3. Play Dryad. Here's a Growth Chamber. Let's go after the Solitude. Force my opponent's hand. Let's see if their draw step was exactly another. Okay, so their draw step was not another. Huh. I actually made another small misstep there. Yeah, make another mistake there, and I'm not. No, it's fine. I can just seize the Titan off of what I find here. Okay, there we go. Wow. Played that match pretty horribly, but we ended up on top anyways. That's one of the matchups where this card is actually good. As much as I don't like this card, this is one of the matchups where it really shines. So that worked out well for us. 4-0. All right, last match, and we're playing against what is the most dreaded companion that can ever be revealed to an Amulet player. This hand is good because it has Gracer though. It's a little bit on the slow side of things, but I think it's got potential. The problem is like the Obosh decks oftentimes are playing main deck Blood Moons, which is very bad for us. Okay, so I think I want to play out Growth Chamber because it's pretty likely that I'm going to pack for Dryad on turn 3. Because otherwise, like, I'm not playing Titan before turn 5. So I'd rather play Titan on turn 4 than turn 5. I think we're losing to Blood Moon. So since we're losing to Blood Moon, I'm just going to accept my fate and pact for Dryad. Probably should have made the Dryad uncounterable. Like, imagine if we get like Mana Leak or something there. No attacks. Also, I lose to Double Bolt. I forgot. I could have played around that very easily as well. just didn't for a reason. Yeah. So my opponent knows. Oh no, never mind. Okay. Woo, we got a game. Let's do this, baby. I was gonna say, I wonder if like my opponent knows who I am, and they're just like, "Yep, I'm mulligan to Blood Moon." Ponza. I have not played against Ponza in so long. Okay, so we did get to turn 3. Oh no, no, Steve. So I guess I'm gonna hold on to the land here. The thought process for this is if my opponent does not have the moon, I can still just cast Primetime next turn. And if I do find the basic forest and they have actual Blood Moon as opposed to Magus, I can just Boseiju it. So I think it's better for me to do this. Obviously, I'm not gonna leave my Dryad dead to a Lightning Bolt, so I'm gonna take the 1 point of damage. I'm not particularly afraid of any spectacle cards. Relic of Progenitor's Resolves, opponent. Can we dodge? There's no way we dodge. We're just gonna dodge here? Alright. I mean, played to our outs. Played to our outs and we got there. Excellent. We played to our outs and we got there. Yeah. Sick. Obviously ecstatic about winning game 1 against what is one of our historically worst possible matchups. Extremely happy about that. So we're just gonna go get Valakut Vesuva. Bow face. Always yes, always yes, always yes, always yield. Play out the Boseiju and it's gonna be lethal. Play it. Wow. Obosh. What's his name? And we got there. So obviously I love this member. Actually the Krasis game plan seems reasonable here. Cultivator sucks. Scapeshift probably sucks. First Vigor probably gonna bring in Radiant Fountain, Cut Bog, Cut All Sagas. Oh, didn't find their way in. Okay. So cut Expedition Map, cut an Amulet. We could cut a Gracer, but I think that my opponents like they gotta be playing Monkey, right? There's no way they aren't playing Monkey. Also, Explosives is kind of interesting. I think I'm gonna cut 2 Summoners back to bring in Engineered Explosives. Maybe I should be cutting some number of Amulets. Amulet seems better on the play than on the draw. We got a basic. We've got a basic. This hand is a little bit too slow. Okay. So with this hand, we bottom Boros Garrison, I think, or the Valakut. I think we bottom the Valakut. And I'm slamming this Amulet on 1. Double Sprawl. Good, because if they had played Arbor Elf, then I would have actually had to think about it. But since they played Sprawl, there's nothing to think about. Just slam the Amulet and call it a day. Hopefully they Magus us. Like, if they Magus us, that would be so good for us. Like, we get to a ramp. Like, I'm probably going to leave the Magus in play for multiple turns. Magus. Pillage. Well, that's kind of good, actually. The fact that they pillaged my Amulet and know my land, it's kind of great. So my opponent's playing the deck list from years ago, because this deck hasn't been playing Pillage in a really long time. Alright, please don't have another Pillage. Really funny how we're in a situation where we kind of want to get Blood Moon. Very awkward spot. They're just playing Obosh. Okay. Dried is a fantastic draw, obviously. Bounce, replay. And I think we're just going to chill here. I'm going to take 6 from the Obosh. I may die to a flurry of burn spells, but I think being able to answer a Magus is way too important. Way, way too important. So we're going to take 6 here. The good thing is that if opponent points a bolt at my Dryad, we can dismember Obosh in response and have it survive, which is sick. 5 mana. What do you got, opponent? Lukka, Coppercoat, Outcast. Well, this is going to be a sick blowout. Oh, rewarded for my patience. So rewarded. Oof, baby, that's so hot. That is so freaking hot. So rewarded for my patience. So this is just lethal. Here's Primeval Titan. Wow. Nice 5-0, baby. Cast Scapeshift 0 times total. You love to see it. You love to see it. This looks like 18 points of damage going towards my opponent's face. Boop. Easy clap. Alrighty, thank you everyone for making it all the way to the end of the video. Obviously 5-0 feels great, but I feel like I have learned nothing about this card. I cast it 0 times total, and every time that it was in my hand, it would have been like I just had a better line that I just couldn't. I guess I cast it to force once, if I remember correctly. So that was it. But yeah, we got some pretty good matchups overall. Particularly, you know, getting paired against Hammer twice. I think that matchup has become, since the banner of Lures, that matchup has become a lot better for us. Obviously we did get paired against the Ponza deck, but you know, the Ponza deck just did the Ponza things of just rolling over and dying, so it worked out in the end. Yeah, this deck list seems fine. I kind of felt like I wanted access to one more bounce land. I felt like multiple times I was a bounce land away from my hand being just busted. And the more time goes by, the less high that I am on Castle. Also, one thing that is true though is that bounce lands and sagas with Scapeshift were super awkward. Like multiple times throughout that league, I was thinking, okay, if I had Scapeshift here, I would do nothing, because I had like 2 bounce lands and like a saga that was going to destroy itself in the end of turn, so I was going to get like 2 lands or something. So Scapeshift was pretty awkward there. I could see it being like a sort of a payoff spell. I'm sort of looking for any excuse to not play Cultivator Colossus, so having access to Scapeshift is nice in that sense. But if I were to compare it to something like Explore, I don't even know if that's where I would want to be, you know? Like, I kind of feel like Explore may be a little bit better overall, or at least in the abstract, you know? But I'm interested in trying this out, and some people that I really respect, like Hawkbog, as the streamer who was the first one that I saw using this deck, and then of course Kane Reinhardt, also known as Sneaky Misato, also has been high on this. So actually I didn't say that at the beginning, I forgot, but this deck list was pretty, like I used his deck list as a starting point and then made a couple of changes after that, but the deck list is based off of Kane. Yeah, very interesting concept. Too bad that it didn't come into play, but hopefully that will in the next time, and that's when I will see you in the next time. If you enjoy the content, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button, and we'll see you in the next video, folks. Take care, thank you for watching, and don't forget about all the stuff that you can see in the description of the video down below to support the channel. Bye bye.